Bloomberg is now taking on baby formula. The Westboro Baptist Church was in rare form. Romney was in rare form in Israel. Gibbs says he's not going to let Romney play his tired and true role of prep school bully. I can't take these guys. These guys are just so they're done. They're just done. If you were here at Restoring Love, you know they're done. There's just nothing left for them. It's an amazing thing how, I don't know, 2008 they feel. It feels like the whole world has moved on, and they're just yesterday's news, and they're just drumming up more of the same garbage. Now the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, I was crazy for saying that there were going to be riots in the streets. I was crazy. Nuts. That's not going to happen. Now I believe that we have a chance of that being wrong, of my prediction being wrong. I think we have a real chance of that. What does the Department of Homeland Security come out and say this weekend? We're going to have riots in the streets. Wait a minute. Hang on. That's crazy. What? Again, how 2008 of you. Meanwhile, while there were stabbings all over the country, while Bloomberg is taking off baby formula, while the United States Department of Homeland Security is talking about riots, Drudge is reporting 65,000. Actually, I should say this. CBS News is reporting 65,000 people show up at Dallas Cowboys Stadium on Saturday. Now, I just want to give this some perspective. CBS News is the same organization that said 87,000 people showed up at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. So 65,000, according to CBS News, 65,000 were at the stadium, and only 87,000 were in the mall. Well, here's the difference I should point out. All the people that showed up, the 87,000 people that showed up in the mall, were enormously fat. They just took up so much more room than those people that went to the stadium. It was, in case you missed it, it was absolutely incredible. Most incredible thing that we have ever been a part of. It was, Brad Thor said in an interview I heard this morning, Brad Thor said it was 9/12 without the tragedy. And it was. This is what the 9/12 Project was all about. To tell people you're not alone, and I don't think there's a soul that felt they were alone this weekend. Not a soul. Biggest service project in the history of America, and we've just begun. 14 tractor trailers left on Saturday for 11 different cities across the country. 14 tractor trailers full of food. And that was only one service project. Service project after 305 service projects. And, of course, nobody is – you ready for this one? The newspaper here locally, when they talked about restoring love, and I haven't seen this one myself. I have enough time to read all of the papers that covered restoring love. I think there were 3 articles and maybe 2 news stories on it. Which is great, by the way. Remind me. Stu, write this down. Mm-hmm. Why it's great that the media did not cover this. Because it really is truly great that they didn't cover it. One of the stories here in Dallas that talked about the service projects, they were struggling for anything to say that would be bad about this. 305 service projects. 14 tractor trailers full of food going to 11 different cities. And what did the newspaper report? The newspaper reported, but Tarrant County was left out. Now, so you know, Tarrant County here in Texas is the wealthiest county, I believe, in the country.
One of.
It's like top 5, isn't it?
It's probably... Yeah, it might.
It's like the.
I don't know. If
it's like the
5.
highest concentration of wealth. It's some weird little stat where it's like the richest people in the country.
Yeah,
there's
one city in the country that is the richest city in the nation. One city in that county that is the.
That's
is the
what.
wealthiest.
That must be it.
Yeah.
It's what is it? is it South Lake?
South Lake.
South Lake, which is right here by the studio, South Lake, Texas. Remember I said at one point, like last year, I'm like, you've got to live in South Lake. Well, that's before I realized it was the most expensive. Of course I love it. It's great. It's like, this is the greatest city. Everybody there just has a house, and it's nice. Why didn't everybody live in South Lake? Like, well, now I know. Anyway, so South Lake is in Tarrant County, and we left that. We left it out. Yeah, we didn't raise food. For the wealthiest town in America. Didn't do it. Sorry. Didn't do it. The Line, do you happen to have the part about the Third Great Awakening?
I'm not sure if it's that specifically.
Okay, find that
sections.
piece. We have to play that. That's the one piece that everybody should pass to their friends. It was the line of the entire, and I knew it. I mean, I said it 3 days before. I said, this is the guy who was helping me write the speech. He's Jewish, and he said, Glenn, I think we should get rid of this line. And I said, no, we're not. And he's like, well, speech is getting a little long. And I said, no, we're not moving. He's like, I don't really understand what this. And I said, oh, believe me, the people who are going will understand the Third Great Awakening. He just wasn't historically aware of what the Third Great Awakening is. The Third Great Awakening, the first one started the American Revolution. The Second Great Awakening stopped slavery. And this is the Third Great Awakening. And the Third Great Awakening, and I'm telling you right now, it is here. You could absolutely feel the Third Great Awakening. You could feel it. Without a doubt, it has started. And people have been praying for it. Martin Luther King was praying for the Third Great Awakening. It's here, gang. It's here.
By the way, GlennBeck.com/restoring love is the easiest way to get to a lot of this video if you missed out any part of the event. And there is a lot of quick links there to get you to the easiest parts of it. So.
You have to see this thing. If you missed it, you have to watch it in its entirety. It is. Pat said this morning, he said, Glenn, that was Super Bowl quality. It really was. Really was. And I say that I'm not taking any credit for it. The crew that I have, I was so amazed by my staff. I have the best staff, I believe, and I say this with humility because I didn't assemble it. I have the best staff, I believe, ever assembled in radio and television. I really do. We are 130 people. We should be to do what we do, it should be about a staff of about 400. Is that an exaggeration?
Oh, yeah.
At least a staff of 400. They have never done anything like this. I believe we created a new art form this last Saturday. When I said a year ago, we're going to do the whole speech, and I want the whole show to never end. So when we start rolling, music runs all the way through it, and it never stops. I said, I don't want people to be able to catch their breath through this whole thing. And I don't want to say, and that was Kalai, and this was that, and that was it. It's not like that. It's unlike anything anybody's ever done. And I want the whole ending speech to be fully orchestrated. And they said, Glenn, you just go off on crazy tangents. How are we going to possibly get the orchestra to be able to stay with you? And I said, we'll figure out a way. I believe this is a new art form. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? And this is done by a group of people that have never done any of this stuff before. But nobody's ever produced a Super Bowl halftime show, if you will, that was 2 hours long. Nobody on my staff has ever done that. This is proof positive that what the president says about roads and infrastructure creating something, it's absolutely true. Because we couldn't have done it without seriously, those roads around the stadium are unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. And you can't we didn't come up with a new art form. We didn't come up with that show. We didn't all suddenly say, hey, let's do 305 service projects.
No.
We didn't do that.
Yeah,
It was the infrastructure.
There was at one point I was watching, I think it was Kalai, and I was just like, man, 121 South did a great job with that.
Great job.
It was
Even though
really
it's under
good.
construction, every stinking section, every foot, every inch of it under construction. What a great job
can I tell
it
you
did.
something?
They were busy
Yesterday-
working on music.
Yesterday,
well.
I was driving in a neighborhood, and there was construction everywhere and houses being built.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in my life, I actually said, isn't it fantastic to see all of this construction? Now, I know it's only happening in Texas, but soon, hopefully, it will be happening all over the country again. But to be able to see the country move forward on new projects felt so good. And soon, America, that's the way the rest of the country is going to feel. All we have to do is finish the job. That's it. Just finish the job. The game has already been played and won. You just have to get to the voting booth.
And that first 30 seconds in the traffic when you're thinking about that is fantastic. And
Jackie
then the
felt
next
so good
9
about that.
hours
Yeah.
is...
No, I didn't say the highways. I said buildings and
Okay.
stuff, not the highways. Highways suck. Highway construction sucks. I have never seen anything like the construction that they do here, though.
Never. Because
The highways are, I mean, Texas
Jeez.
is moving forward. I've just never seen anything like it.
now, because it's everything at once.
Yeah.
It's virtually the
booming.
whole metroplex at once.
Yeah.
And so there's nowhere you can go where there's not construction.
How many people did you meet over the weekend that said, sincerely said, we've talked about it. My wife and I have talked about it. Or my husband and I have been talking about it since we've been here. We're moving to Texas.
Quite a few.
I mean, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It is you know what it is? It's all the best parts of America in the 1980s. Remember when the Reagan thing was happening and the country was just booming again? That's what it feels like in Texas. I mean, it gives you such profound hope when you come from other parts of the country. I mean, poor Ohio, which, by the way, I don't know if you heard the announcement, but the week of 9/12, we're going to be in Ohio with a major event. Details to follow. Make sure that you take that weekend of 9/12. I think 9/12 is on a weekend, is on Wednesday. That following weekend will be in Ohio. Just circle it on your calendar. You know, if your kids are getting married, tell them not that weekend. But it really hurt when I had to tell my daughter that. She was like, "Dad, we're right on top of it." I'm like, "Sucks to be you, doesn't it?" Anyway, make sure that you join us for that. But if you're in Ohio or you're in places where this non-existent recovery is happening in a non-existent way, aren't you just tired? You know, that was the best thing looking out at this crowd. You know, standing there in that stadium with that many people and saying the words that I truly believe all the way to the core. The optimism. You know, the last time when we did Restoring Honor and Restoring Courage, I was pleading. Look, this is the way out. This is the way out. This time, we have the way out. We know the way out. And everybody who was in that audience felt the way out. And to be able to say these things, I could just see people. How long was it that people were on their feet applauding? They started giving standing ovations, and eventually they just never sat down. What, the last 20 minutes of the speech?
Mm-hmm.
They just never sat back down. There were whole strings of like 4 minutes of just applause as I was going.
Yeah, and these evil conservatives, what were they applauding for?
Let me serve.
Yeah, let me serve.
We're going to feed people. We're going to help people. We're going to heal people.
All the things they say that conservatives don't believe in. Standing ovation after standing ovation for things like helping people who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
It works exactly against every stereotype that the progressives and the media say about conservatives.
I love the fact that Tarrant County was the one that this is the only few people that reported it. One had to say they didn't raise any money or any food for the richest county around. They didn't help at all. Okay. Sorry about that. That's the first negative on it. The other negative was they called me the most controversial figure in America, and then they couldn't come up with anything that I had said controversial at all during the whole thing, so they had to immediately go outside to the Westboro Baptist Church and say that Glenn Beck repeatedly says he hates God. I can't. If I say that one more time, I think my head's going to explode.
Yeah, we're a little sick of hearing you say it.
So tired of it. So tired of it.
Why do you hate God so much?
By the way, you can find if you there's a long list of reasons. Okay. Have you seen the Aardvark?
The Aardvark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reason number one.
Wait, the number one. It's the aardvark?
Oh, yeah. The aardvark?
Really?
That animal pisses me off.
Okay.
Anyway, our sponsor this half hour, if you missed it, you check it out at GBTV. Subscribe to GBTV.com, and we're only just beginning. You watch what we have coming next. GBTV.com. By the way,